Conspiracy theories have always been here, springing out of our perceptions, our suspicions, and our fears, our sense that this world is not as it appears. Conspiracy theories are introduced to make sense of the mysteries and inconsistencies of historical events. Random incidents and coincidences are transformed into patterns to explain the inexplicable. Theories that range from the possible to the fantastical. All ideas provocative, ridiculous, and outrageous. Conspiracy theories can be dangerous, giving rise to blame, violence, and racism. The basis for charismatic leaders to set the disenfranchised off against each other, pointing the finger at each other for the ills of society. But beneath this chaos is a plain, simple fact. Conspiracies, public and private, actually exist. People gathering together to commit an act to advance their own agendas, then covering it up to escape the consequences. People lie. People keep secrets. This, more than anything, is the cause of all the theories. But the age of conspiracy really took off last century. 11/22/1963. A date etched into the global consciousness when the world's most powerful man in the town of Dallas was lured into a turkey shoot. His frail body shot to pieces by invisible assassins seen by many eyes. A power grab, concealed in a maze of misdirection, misinformation, and unanswered questions that people can't stop asking. A people whose mythology has crumbled, and a nation-state pursued by the spectres of Dallas. Dallas. Morning. The cold rising, the slow rising of a cold sun. Outside the city, the suburbs, cross-hatched and wan, lie like the fingers of some hand. In one of these, new, nondescript, an engine starts. A car door slams, a man drives off. Its gates bannered, its streets flagged and swept. The city waits. Throughout 1963, President John F. Kennedy had an encroaching sense of his own impending demise. He undertook a trip in June that year to his ancestral land of Southern Ireland. In the run-up to this trip, he kept reciting the words of an old Irish poem by Thomas Davis, commemorating the demise of fallen Irish leader Ian Ruaidh O'Neill. Soft as woman's was your voice, O'Neill. Bright was your eye. Oh, why did you leave us, Ian? Why did you die? Your troubles are all over. You're at rest with God on high. But we're slaves and we're orphans, Ian. Why didst thou die? Those days in Ireland were the happiest of Kennedy's presidency, cementing a deep relationship to his homeland and the Irish immigrants like his grandfather who had fled to the United States to make their fortune. Kennedy's favourite poem was Rendezvous by Alain. The poem speaks of man's inescapable mortality. With everything he was and everything he did, John F. Kennedy felt, perhaps more than anyone, an acute sense of his limited time on earth. God knows 'twere better to be deep pillowed in silk and scented down, where love throbs out in blissful sleep, pulse nigh to pulse, and breath to breath. But I've a rendezvous with death at midnight in some flaming town, when spring trips north again this year, and I to my pledged word am true. I shall not fail that rendezvous. In Dallas, Texas, A city filled with people who hated him and run by men determined not to let him leave alive. This was where John F. Kennedy would make his rendezvous. And as the limousine carrying the critically wounded president sped into Parkland Hospital, the cover-up was set in motion. Okay, that's just a brief excerpt from Spectres of Dallas, happening this Wednesday, the 30th, next Wednesday, the 30th of October, on the eve of Halloween, at the Torriano Meeting House in Kentish Town, 7:30. Tickets are £10. It's going to be a spoken word picture show, so I'll be reciting over some pictures that I'll be showing you, demonstrating who, in my opinion, was responsible for John F. Kennedy's assassination and why. And yeah, the show lasts about an hour long, and will come with an essay reading list. And yeah, I think it's going to be a provocative and very interesting evening. So I hope you're able to make it along. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers.